If you don't like what you see on Influence in Boxing, then you don't have to watch. Perfect example. Screw Geordie.
I swear to God, I will never watch an Anthony Taylor fight again. Like, I'm absolutely never watch. Like, the guy is so fucking boring.
Guys like him, it's great to the planet of Earth.
Your victory over Salt Papi, was it your best performance in Misfits yet, do you think?
I think so. I think so. It was definitely my best performance as far as overall week, from the press conference to the face to face to the ceremony weigh-ins to leading up to the ring walkout to the fight. Everything I did was just jam-packed entertainment. Jam-packed entertainment, fun and loving and just great atmosphere.
A lot of people thought Salt Papi was one of the best on the Misfits roster. A lot of people probably still do, or at least one of the biggest punchers. What did you make of his performance? Did he surprise you at all in any way?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we can't discredit Salt Poppy's fighting ability. I just had a better game plan, and I executed my game plan. We can't discredit the fact that Floyd dominated Manny Pacquiao by unanimous decision. He just had a game plan for against Pacquiao. Same thing. Doesn't mean Pacquiao is less than a fighter of who he is. He's still the killer beast that he is. He's still a top 5 fighter. It's just I executed my game plan with my team and coaches, and I came out victorious.
How did you cope with your heel status? Because Salt Papi is a fan favorite, even in the UK, and I guess he was on the night. But again, you came out victorious. You managed to get in there on the inside, nullify his power, and get the victory. How did you cope with being the bad guy, the heel of the situation?
I mean, I'm used to it, Alex. I'm used to it because that's just who I am. I embrace being the bad guy heel. I'm kind of like the NWO Wolfpack type of stuff. Like everybody loves to hate me. They'll take pictures and they'll love me for all that stuff in the press conference, but they'll boo the shit out of me when it's time to fight, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. I embrace that and I accept that for who I am. Someone needs to play that role.
What have you made of the reception that you've got here, or you had here in England, in the UK? How were you treated in general by the British people? And do you like fighting here? And do you like spending time in the UK?
Oh man, I'm accepted as one of their own. The UK British people, they accept me, they love me, they support me. Like I said, when I'm not fighting that day. um, they show me love. They take pictures, they follow me. I feel blessed to be in this position. I feel blessed that I have a whole country who enjoys watching me fight. Not just the United States, but Ireland, Europe itself, Germany, England, stuff like countries like those who appreciate a entertaining personality like mine.
What do you make of the food in the UK?
I'm gonna be nice on this one because I don't want to get canceled. But the food is okay. It's okay.
Be
It's
honest.
okay.
Be honest.
I can't. I don't want to get in trouble. Food's okay. It just needs some seasoning in it, a little better seasoning, but it's okay.
What were your favorite meals that you tried over here? Did you get to eat out at all, or did you have like a meal prep service?
I never really got to eat yet as much because I was, too busy trying to eat healthy and clean, and maintaining that during the fight week because I didn't want to come off sluggish in the fight. But I ate pretty good, but healthy.
So you didn't get to try some of our staple dishes like full English breakfast or
Well, I tried the full English breakfast. It was okay, but like I said, I couldn't eat certain things due to me, not wanting to feel sluggish leading up to the fight.
what were those certain things?
Like little beans, some eggs, and some coffee. That was all amazing what I ate.
Beans aren't really a thing in the US, are they?
No, they are. They are. It's just out there, you really had you had your tomatoes, your beans, your pork sausages, and then you had your bacon. I couldn't eat all that extra stuff. It was just too high on calories and cholesterol for me. So I just had to keep it basic.
So how did you celebrate your win? Food, drink, party?
Oh man, celebrating that win. I went home and slept because I was tired. Your jet lag. You're trying to give up you're trying to give out all your energy that night of the fight, It takes longer than a week to get accustomed to someone's time zone, especially 8-hour time zone difference.
So, I mean, London is a great party city. There's so many places you can go, but you just went straight home and to bed.
Yes. I enjoy it, man. London is like a second home. I enjoy coming to London. I enjoy fighting in front of that crowd, and I enjoy being an entertainer out there.
You called out Slim in the aftermath, of course. He's undefeated so far in his career, but do you think you've got enough to defeat him and take him out?
I think so. I think I have what it takes to beat Slim. He's a tough opponent. He's a lot taller than me. He's longer and he's awkward and he's durable. We've seen that. Slim hasn't been knocked down before. So those those variables matter. Those matter. Hopefully the winner of me and Slim could probably get a KSI fight.
Like you said there, he's the taller, more rangier of the two of the pair of you, but
Right.
he's probably got the superior reach advantage, but you probably got a lot more power than him. Do you think
Yes, definitely.
it comes down to an equation of power versus reach and getting in there and having
I
a more
think I think a lot of I think a lot of that is going to come off strategy. Who has a better strategy to neutralize one another? Can can Slim use his reach to keep me at an advantage to keep me on the outside? Can Anthony Taylor use his his strength to get in close and use his smaller limbs to do work in the inside of the clinching or just inside dirty boxing? A lot of that's gonna come off strategy.
You mentioned KSI there as well as a potential opponent for the winner of your fight with Slim. What did you make of the main event, KSI against Fournier?
I thought it was a good fight. KSI was winning. It's unfortunate that the fight ended it by an elbow. It was unintentional, meaning he didn't mean to do it. I guess. I mean, it was an accident elbow. I wouldn't say he did it with a purpose or on purpose. On purpose, you're in the heat of the moment. Your body's reacting. It's reflexes. He didn't mean to intentionally hit him with the elbow. It was a mistake. Just call it a no contest. Move on. Move forward. Have Joe Fournier work his way back up to KSI. Have him fight Tyron Woodley, and then go from there.
I was going to say, do you think it could be ruled a DQ? And in that case, does Fournier get a rematch? Or does he have to prove that? Because I wasn't that impressed by Joe in the ring. So do you think he has to go through someone like Tyron Woodley to justify getting back in there with KSI?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, this ain't the old days where you lose, then you get the automatic rematch. The new days. Like, take it back to the old days. You lose, you gotta get about 3 or 4 fights before you get that rematch. It ain't a no contest. It's not like it was a draw. It's just a no contest. Move forward, build your skill set, and then come back later. Why should we give people automatic rematches if it ain't a title shot?
What do you have that KSI couldn't live with? Because I know, like you've just said, you want to fight him if you get past Slim. So what do you have that all KSI's previous opponents don't?
Grit, dogging them. I got the dog in them. I'm top 4 in the world, Alex. You see it, pound for pound, top 4 to be crowned the undisputed champion of influencer boxers history. You got to beat the number 1 and 4. Look, he hasn't fought Tommy Fury, he hasn't fought Jake Paul, and he hasn't fought me. Let's say he fights Tommy Fury and he fights and beats Tommy Fury coming up, or either August or September, because those are only dates that seems doable. And let's say he fights me towards the end of the year. Then he fights Jake Paul in February. Look, you're fighting the top 3 guys in the division right there. I lost to Tommy by decision. Jake Paul lost to Tommy by decision. Tommy's ranked number 1. Go fight Tommy. If you're planning on fighting, if you want to fight Jake Paul next year, you got about 6 months gap. Go ahead and fight me within that gap after Tommy Fury. Let's make it happen. I'm up for it. I'm patient.
Do you think KSI's got what it takes to beat Tommy? Because we saw Jake was undefeated, stepped in there with Tommy. Tommy arguably won, in my opinion, won every single round in that fight, despite getting knocked down. So does KSI beat Tommy?
I want to say he can. I'm not going to say he can't, and I'm not saying he can. I think this is based on what is KSI's strategy for this fight. What are you have to know your weaknesses. What is his weaknesses? What can you do to neutralize his strength? Like I did with Salt Papi. For instance, I took away Salt Papi left hand, left straight. That's all he had. If you can take away a certain strength from Tommy Fury, then you have a possible shot.
Tommy's a good puncher, and I don't think KSI's stepped in there with anyone anywhere close to what Tommy delivers in that department. How does KSI manage that, and how does he kind of cope with not being the aggressor in that fight?
I think I think KSI just has to trust his teammates and his coaches. Trust his coaches' decisions. Because the coaches see things that we don't see most of the time. That's their job. They're the coach. They teach, we follow. Trust his coach's decisions, trust his team, trust Mams, his manager, and everybody, Solomon Brothers. Trust everybody's decision that it can happen. He has a shot to beat Tommy Fury. I'm not going to sit here and saying, oh, he's going to lose to Tommy Fury. I think he could potentially lose. I think he might lose, but he has a puncher's chance. He has that chance.
It will be probably, I mean, it'll definitely be the biggest fight in crossover boxing since the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight. But I think it's probably got the potential to be even bigger commercially than the Jake fight, at least in the UK here. When can we expect to see you in the ring next? Is it going to be Slim on the next Misfits X Series card in the UK, or do you have someone else in mind?
Right now, my mind is focused on Slim or Gib, one of those. But if I do fight, it'll probably be coming to KSI and Tommy Fury if they do decide to fight.
And I know you want Slim and then potentially KSI based on the outcome of that fight. If let's take like a 12-month, the next 12 months, you'd have what, like 3 or 4 fights in that 12-month period. Who would you like those opponents to be in an ideal world?
Definitely Logan Paul, one of those ideal war. Tommy Fury in a rematch. I think me and Tommy Fury would. I think the rematch would be a lot different. I think that the anticipation would be different now that I improve as a fighter. Gib and Slim, those four out of 12 months. So KSI, Tommy Fury, Logan Paul, and Slim.
And finally, I wanted to ask you about influencer boxing in general, because in the UK there are a few outlets, media outlets, who refuse to cover it because they see it as more of an entertainment sport, and some people even go as far as to say, you know, it diminishes boxing or makes mockery of boxing. I don't personally agree with that, but there are some people who do think that way. What's your take on the continued level of hate that Misfits boxing and influencer boxing gets?
I just say be mindful. Just be open to entertainment boxing. It helps bring value to the sport. It lights a fire under other fighters to be like, hey, you want these big level fights? You need to start promoting yourself. Stop thinking that these small level cards is going to promote you. No, be a entertaining boxer. Be fun. Be charismatic. Because if not, no one's going to recognize you as a boxer. Having to get 35 fights before you get a title shot. You gotta be open to the fact that we're changing now. Everything is changing. If you can't go with the change, you're gonna be left behind. And sooner or later, your voice is not going to be heard. No one's going to care about what your voice means. Your opinion's not going to matter anymore. There's a change in the game of boxing. It might not be professional, but it's fun for the kids, and it's fun to see people wanting to do things that they've never done before. It's fun to see that.
I think it certainly is good for kids, and it also gets more kids into boxing because being there at the Ovo Arena on Saturday, the number of young people in attendance was enormous compared to what you get at a traditional boxing event. And
Right.
if 10% of those kids on the next Monday morning go into a boxing gym, as opposed to going out in the streets causing trouble, then that's a good thing. I think.
Right. I look at it like this. You let overseas basketball be basketball. You let NBA be NBA basketball. You don't see NBA and overseas European basketball trying to compete. No, they do their own thing. NBA does their own thing. Misfits and influencer boxing, they're doing their own thing. They're not calling out pro boxers. They're not out here talking about, oh, I'm better than Canelo and these guys are popular. No, they're just doing their thing. They're having fun. The pro boxers, they're doing their thing. They're having their own fun. It doesn't mean you have to take it so serious. People are like, well, you guys need to come together. Oh, let them do what they do. Let these guys do what they want to do. If you don't like what you see on influence in boxing, then you don't have to watch. Perfect example. True Geordie. He's very despicable. He's very nasty. He talks down on people who've never done his sport, who's trying to build confidence for themselves. There's guys who've been bullied all their lives, who's finally taken accountability of wanting to try something new so they don't have to go to that. True Gordy doesn't understand people paying on why they do these shows. You get boogies, you get wings. Like these guys is damn near bedridden, man. You know, these guys out here who are in wheelchairs who's lost all this weight. And then you guys got people like Deji who's doing something new, but you guys got a guy like True Gordon who's just talking down on the show. These guys have never fought before. They have the courage to at least say, hey, I'm wanting to go in there and train and do something that I've never once did before. Guys like him is a disgrace to the planet of Earth. How can you sit here and talk down on a show of guys who are trying something new for the first time where they were probably bullied and just want the courage to do something to stand up for themselves? Men like that are a disgrace.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's powerful, and I also think as well, people's frustration. Misfits exists. Misfits boxing, influence boxing exists as well because people are frustrated with traditional professional boxing. You look at Crawford Spence. When are they going to fight? I think people are frustrated with that. Crawford and Spence, I think, have an overinflated sense of themselves commercially as well because the cards they fight on aren't good enough. They're not. I think Misfits boxing. Every one of you on that card, you in particular, you're very good at selling yourself. You're very good at building a platform for yourself. I think if traditional boxing was to take one learning from Misfits, it was do your own PR.
Well, that's the thing, Alex. Let me point on that. There's no politics in Misfits and influence in boxing. There's no multiple championships in Misfits boxing. There's one champion for one weight class. Work your way up the ranks, get there, and become the number one fighter. When you're dealing with these boxers like Crawford and all that, there's like 5, 6 different champions at 148, 147. It's like, why are politics and all these shows competing? Let there just be one belt, one ranking. It's like the UFC. You know, there are politics in the UFC, but it's one belt, top 15, fight to become number one contender.
And it's a lot easier to understand and follow that way.
Exactly. It's a lot easier to understand, and you will understand the belt rankings. Well, hell, because personally, I don't even know what weight class Ryan Garcia is in. Or Devin Haney and Steven Shakur. There's so many belts, WBE, WBA, WCI. There's so many belts. You can't really say, well, this guy is the best because they're all fighting for different belts. It took 4 years for Floyd and Manny Pacquiao to fight. All because there's 3 to 4 different belts. There's too much politics in the game. And that's why a lot of people enjoy watching influencer boxing because they get to see their people, the fighters or influencers who come from a different background step in the cage. I mean, step in the ring.
And it takes bollocks to get in the ring as well. People lashing out at Boogie for his performance at Wings against Wings on Saturday night. But man, that was probably the first time the guy had done anything active in a close to a workout in some time, and he lost over almost 20 stone as well. So the fact he actually got in there is probably more than a lot of people watching critically
Absolutely
would have done. So I think a lot of people will find, a lot of others will find your words empowering as well, particularly the guys who've struggled with confidence issues and who've gone down the wrong path and have found Misfits as a way of, you know, forging a career and taking
right.
charge of their lives and their health. So no, credit to you for being credit to you for speaking up and being a leader in this angle. I think it's in this avenue. I think it's very respectable. But Anthony, I really appreciate you putting the time away to chat to me today, man. I know it was I was messaging you very early hours this morning, so I apologize.
You're good, brother.
But
You're good, brother. You're good.
I'm very grateful for your time. Fingers crossed we can see you again in London sometime soon, and all the best with the fights for the rest of the year.
Absolutely, brother. We'll talk soon.